Hello, everyone.
Hello.
So we'll be channeling for you today. See what comes through as we just jumped on and have not planned anything. So let's see what
Mhm.
wants to come through.
I'm being shown I'm being shown a body, like a physical body. Like it feels the view I have of the body is very like anatomical. Like it's I see the blood, I see the bone, I see the muscle, the cells. Um yeah, I think there's a lot of activations or changes about the physical body. I don't know if it started recently or if it is in the present or in the near future, but it feels like it's about the now. Um, yeah, a lot of upgrade, changes, activation was the word I had.
There's something, it all was resonating, but nothing was coming through for me connected to it until you said activation.
Mhm. I see. I'm shown like a flat plane, so it seems that at this very moment, attached to the now, I see a very specific plane. It might be a band, like a frequency band that is concerned. It's about this very specific frequency band.
It's so interesting. Today just feels so different because it's specific words that you're saying that I feel this intuitive yes. And it was bend.
Band. Okay.
Bend. Yeah, bend was that felt the follow that.
Right. So it seemed to be quite specific. Would you confirm that? Does it resonate?
Yeah, definitely.
Or-
And that the idea of seeing, I kept seeing plane and bend through different contexts. So I think it's also about seeing it. This comes up a lot, but seeing it through multiple different lenses, not just in one particular way.
Right. Yeah, that resonate as well. Yeah.
And I think that's an aspect of the biological changes as well, of also not being so focused on seeing physical changes because you're moving more into subtle energies. There'll be biological changes that are only discernible when you are attuned to the body. So you may not see physical changes in the way that we perceive that. But when you
Mhm.
tune in, you'll begin to notice physical changes at a more subtle frequency. And that's
Oh,
also the
yeah.
frequency in which we can tune into when we're working on bringing a sense of healing in the context that's purposeful for that person's journey with that particular illness or injury. But it's a throughway is coming through, a throughway to healing with frequency as we move through these biological changes, it can actually be a conduit to help understand how to work with healing in the body as part of the process of awakening to that particular mm, layer and level of perception.
To me, it feels I was not I was not channeling physical change, but change energetical changes to the physical body. Um, and the activation, when I looked at the term activation that I channeled, I saw it's like a turbine starting to
Mm.
move and spin faster and faster. And it really, from my visual, the visual I receive, some turbine seem to start from almost zero, from a point of stagnation in this sense, it's really an activation more than an upgrade, because it was not moving and now it's moving very fast. And since as it is moving very fast, the turbine completely disappear and I just feel this like vibration. Like this.
Oh, the journey that I just went on just connected to what you were saying. So beautiful. Um, okay, so the turbine connected me to the chakras, which is also my particular lens that I see a lot through. But it connected me to the chakras. And then what I thought was so potent and necessary for people to hear from that was that it's not an upgrade, it's an activation. Because what
Mm,
came through for me with that particular statement to not see these as upgrades, because that's actually diminishing where you're at now. And where you're at now is perfection. And so when we see it as activations, it's just a broadening and an expansion and awakening and activating of ways of being that were not perceptible or able to be embodied at a particular time. So they're not upgrades, again, because that can diminish your own sense of worth
right.
and not value where you are now.
Exactly. It resonates a lot. What has been is perfect.
Mm.
It's just new. It's just something new, something that emerged now happening.
And what I'm
Yeah,
getting is that
something with that.
and what's coming through so loudly is that it's always here. You know, it it's always here. I think that's also, I don't know why I just keep getting make that point that it's always been here. It's always here.
It feels, I mean, it's a dormant part of
Mm.
the body being activated. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
It feels quite major. It feels quite uh, major in the sense that the amount or the intensity of the activations are quite major in the sense that is it feels quite special and unique. And this is attached to September.
Mm.
It's attached to September. And I can almost say it hasn't happened like this before to this extent.
Yes.
Wow.
What came through so strong, and I kept coming back to the anchor word for me, which was dormant. That felt really powerful because the energies are dormant because we are not awake to them. So they're asleep in terms of our own attunement and consciousness. So they're only dormant because we're not embodying that level, that octave, that layer, that experience of particular frequency to awaken into them. I keep seeing this image in light, especially earlier with the turbines. And it's an image that comes through for me a lot, specifically in light in my mind, not in my mind's eye, but in light when my eyes are closed. It's a vertical line with then an X between it. It kind of looks like an asterisk. But that keeps coming through, especially when you're talking about the turbines, which makes sense in terms of its shape.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So the way I'm seeing it is quite similar.
Mm.
The vertical line feels like a highway, feels like let's say a more major flow of energy in the body. So it feels like a highway, and the cross feels like a very specific point where I was actually saying something very similar, And I heard the term joint, but I don't. It's not the joint like the articulation, like as we can understand from the body. It's different things, but it feels like a joint. It's a point. It's a precise point, and in this sense, I mean, this is what I see, and it kind of resemble what you're just saying. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so much is just coming through. But what feels strongest is
Mhm.
the joint, because joints in the physical body actually provide flexibility of movement and flexibility, and you can move in different directions, not just in a linear fashion. And so joint, which also I think it came up last time we did this, or it was a moment of deja vu, but joint, the movement in form with a sense of flexibility to move beyond the linear perspectives in which you see yourself, in which you see the all.
I'm seeing I'm shown a scene. It's a man and he's sitting on his sofa watching TV, which is a very, let's say, a very dormant position, a very dormant action. And I hear even him,
Mm.
meaning it seemed that it seemed that this activation is so major. It's collective. It's not just available for. It's available for a lot of people. Not. It is available for everyone if there's a choice from the being to step into that frequency band. But it can be quite surprising in who it will touch. Um, yeah, yeah. And this activation has a surprising factor to it.
Mm. With keeps coming up with the surprise element of who or what is activated. What keeps coming through strongly is that A, it reflects the way we label individuals and the way we limit them by the labeling. But it also will reflect back and show that it truly is available and within and of and around all. So when we put these people into groupings, into hierarchies, into classes and castes, and it continues the realm of separation. But when you can truly see that this embodiment of frequency is available because it is within all, when people that others deem not necessarily at the level in the way people perceive it to attain that sense of embodied consciousness, it is a direct reflection of what I'm saying. What I'm hearing is of what Jesus said, which is interesting because it came through earlier in the morning for me, was that it is available. What he did, everyone can do in their own unique way. And that's the importance of this. So they will actually help give permission, getting the 4 minute mile, they'll help give permission, like the 4 minute mile, that it is possible for everyone and all, thereby also unifying everyone. So it's almost this two in one connection I'm getting in which they work simultaneously.
What I'm getting about the surprising factor is food and nutrition and digestion and taste. There is the surprising factor can be experienced. It seemed to be experienced by many as a sudden change in the taste, in your nutrition needs. It has something to do with the food and the digestion. Yeah, and this is how some people can experience it as very surprising and sudden. Yeah.
All I want to say is 1,000%. Yes. Yeah, no, yeah, 100%. And I think what keeps coming through strongly is connection to the land, to naturally even begin to see all of the nutrients within each plant-based food. When you see that that is actually like at its core, it not only gives a sense of reverence for what that food then can do for you, but also connects you through the mirror of it, of at your core, that you have what you need, not only for yourself to thrive, but for another to thrive as well.
Mhm. It completely resonate this notion of connecting with the land, the core. You repeated that word several times, and actually it's very nice because I was feeling the word, but I didn't have the word. And whenever you were saying core, I felt it was matching what I was perceiving and feeling within that person. It feels like a magnetic pull coming from down from the earth, and it's anchoring the person in a way. It's a form of grounding, but it's not exactly grounding. In any case, it's core. Core seems very appropriate as a term. Core, anchoring.
Oh, I love you said anchoring. Um, okay, I'm wanting to go in two different places where this went. So remember anchor, because that will actually make sense when I explain it. It's more of like it's like a teaching tool that I've been wanting to share. So, but core, I could not remember saying core. And I was like, I said core, I could not remember it. And then all of a sudden I remembered it. And that brought me back to how I had this vision of the core of the earth yesterday, and I'd forgotten it. So it was mirroring me forgetting it and coming back to this message. So thank you. Um, and also, what I'm getting is that as a way to also understand how mirroring works in this reflective world in which we live in. Um, so the core of the earth, what I'm getting is that there's more that wants to come through later. It's just simply for now to speak to the core of the earth, seeing it as this. What I'm getting is there are these toys in the 80s where you could touch it, and there was this core of energy, like a ball of energy in the center of it, and it would have these almost like tentacles or dendrites, like connecting to the globe, and wherever you would move your hand, it would like follow it. It would connect to the electricity, the connection. So that's what I'm getting right now. I'm getting that visual of that with the core of the earth and how the energy that resides there, that is exactly like the core of the plant-based foods and the core of us, the core of all beings. Again, that mirrored reflection that we're always connected, and imagining that. I can't remember what it was called. It's not coming to me. But that's the vision, and that there's more to come. And then, okay, the anchor word, teaching why I keep focusing on words today is what coming through is that it's the anchor word is the key, and the key is the container. And this was a teaching of when something was coming through, I would have this anchor word that whenever I would say it, it would unfold everything that came through in the message. So I didn't have to remember the whole message. I just had to remember the anchor word, because the anchor word contains the all. And so that is the key. So finding that anchor word, the energy, the essence of that. And that's why today, that's what I've been guided to do, is find that word. And then as you're channeling, even that word just grows stronger and stronger. And everything that's needing to come out of it comes out once it's said.
When I'm shown regarding the core anchoring and this energy that it carries, that it's going to be specifically strong in September, is
Ah,
magnetic. I'm seeing a pendulum spinning over Earth, and it's just a magnetic pole from coming from the core of the Earth is getting more and more intense, and the spinning is just intense. It's like this gigantic pendulum, and it's gonna have observable consequences. I'm seeing the bird, where they go, where they fly. I don't know if September is a major period in general for migration of birds, because I don't know enough about this topic, but it seemed that it's something that will be observable. People will be able to I need to look into it, because it feels like September could be a period where people spend more time observing the birds and where they travel, where they go. There's definitely something about the magnetic information of coming from the core of Earth and through the entire Earth, which is changing and impacting everyone and everything. Um, and yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
I love this full circle moment because I had a whole message come through around free energy after we channeled together, where we were talking about the like the different poles and the positive, negative, different forces, which the
Oh my
this,
God, excuse me, Blair. The moment
yeah.
you said this positive, negative pole are, this extremities of the pole, I I felt for a second that I was going upside down. I
Oh,
literally felt it like I was falling from the front, yeah, forward. I was falling forward, but it was just an impression. Clink clink. Sorry, I had to say
oh,
it.
oh, I love that. I'm just like sitting with it.
Yeah,
Huh.
that was weird.
Oh. I keep getting this. It's the visual of you moving up and down, up and down. You're getting faster and faster and faster and faster and faster until what I'm seeing is there is this like, at first there's this orientation, upright or upside down. Those are the
Mhm,
two orientations that we believe we can be in. But the
mhm.
more that energy of like up and down, experiencing each one, we're experiencing them faster and faster and faster and faster and faster until it brings together this unified experience of the polarity. So it's like a singularity. So existing in both poles in oneness, which is actually the whole free energy message that came through, was this dynamic point of equilibrium with two opposing forces where you were both and you were neither, and yet you are. And so I love that visual of the up and down, up and down, up and down, which also
As
feels like the energy of now it feels very up and down, up and down, up and down, at least for me.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. When you're saying that I am shown, I'm shown the spinning again. That it's like the spinning.
Like the turbine.
Well, the turbine spinning merging into just vibration. The
Mm.
visual I previously saw, it came back while you were speaking about that.
And that makes sense too, also with the symbol, which has many meanings, but we see it in form, and the faster it goes, the faster it goes, the faster it goes. All of a sudden, you can't see the individual form. And
Right.
yet, when
Yeah.
you slow it down, you can, but the faster it goes, it just becomes one.
Separation, then
Mm.
oneness. Yeah, with the pace,
Yeah.
yeah.
What I'm getting is like that's the rate of the frequency is a way of thinking about that. It's
Right.
but what's interesting is that you actually have to slow down to embody. Because if you're moving really fast, if you're doing a lot, you
Mm.
can't fully embody this frequency because it hasn't been available. So when we
Yeah.
can slow down, we can then begin to integrate and acclimate to this higher frequency, which would otherwise create a lot of anxiety. And what I'm getting is that's why also why so many more people are experiencing anxiety, because it is that higher frequency. But when the nervous system isn't grounded, it gets exacerbated in through the mind, turning
Yeah.
into anxiety and fear. And so when we can slow down, we can acclimate to this higher frequency, which is essentially just embodying your true essence.
Yeah. Which is maybe why I saw a man sitting on his sofa watching TV, having this like very dormant posture. I was also thinking about sleeping. Um,
Mm.
yeah, but it's funny that after I channeled this dynamic, I was shown someone just like resting in front of his TV, just on his sofa after the end of the day, you know? And yeah, they just this, yeah, slowing down really seemed to be a factor.
What I keep getting is that shift in perception of perceiving that culturally as a particular way of being, of like, oh, that's like lazy. Like a lot of people feel bad if they sit and relax and watch some TV. And then seeing it in that context and then shifting it into a whole other context, a whole different pole, a whole different way of seeing it, to actually be like, oh, that's actually slowing down, that's allowing me to actually truly be. And so yeah, that's what keeps coming through is really the emphasis on the shift of perspective, but existing and understanding both poles so you can find that
Right.
unified place of being.
Yeah. After all, the turbine starts from a stagnating position.
Oh, yes. And also at its core, right? It's only able to move because it has that anchor in the middle of that stillness, that point of
Exactly.
stillness. Hmm.
Exactly. That's very interesting. I feel like we are both observing this dynamic through different visuals, different terms, different feelings, but it all is the same.
Which is
It's very nice.
all,
I feel like we can manipulate this information and we can just not manipulate. I think that's in French I would it means something different, but we can look from under, from above, from all the side. That's my impression. I think this is that's quite exciting.
which which I love because we're actually modeling what the message is saying to see it
Yeah,
from all perspectives. So we're actually modeling that in the
exactly.
sharing of it to help with the integration and embodiment
Yeah,
of.
manipulating in French is modeling in English, so that's exactly the word. That's the word I was missing.
I love that.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
that is exactly it.
like that is also the perfection in the present moment. Something may seem like not perfect, I guess, for an easy way of saying it. And then when you reflect back, you're like, oh, that was perfect.
Mhm.
It was exactly the way it was supposed to be.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Mm.
You make the point, like it's making the point. That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Ah,
Mm.
hmm.
So did you have something come through?
No, actually, I was drawn to take me back, take me out of it.
Oh, okay. Can I share this one last thing?
Of course, absolutely.
When you were saying point, and I was seeing the point of the turbine, the point of, say, that light within, that is who we truly are. But it kept getting point is the question, what's the point? Is that there's that misdirection of energy, and these teachings kind of keep coming through where we're actually focused on what it is that will help in our own evolution. but there's this, it's muddled, it gets messy and muddy, and there's this misdirection. We're not actually on track with seeing it for what it is. So the point, like, what's the point? Everyone's like, what's the point of all of this? What's the point of this? What's the point of that? That we're actually so focused on the point, just not in the way that's beneficial for us. So focusing truly on that point of knowing, that point of being, that point between the linear pathway, that super highway between earth and spirit, how people like to see it, with that
Mhm.
X, with that sense of expansion,
Yes.
finding that point within is what allows it to expand out. So the focus is what's the point, but shifting the energy of it to, ah, what's that point? Finding it within, finding that place, that point in which your essence can truly blossom into what it is. So just shifting the focus of what's the point and just trying to embody and be that point that you've been searching for because you know is there, because you feel it. And I'm getting this feeling of just that despair, the depression. It's, which I'm also getting is why I had to experience so much of that. That is being so close and yet so far away. It's just a slight misdirection of energy. And when you can shift it into truly stepping into who you are, your authentic essence through your presence, that's when it can shift out of what's the point to not needing the point because you are the point and you just simply are in presence and being. And it's
This
softening
is
that.
really
Yeah.
beautiful.
It needed to
This is
come
really
through.
beautiful. I gave a channeling yesterday, and actually a large part of the channeling, and it's a term I never used before, was to finding your point zero. The term point zero came through so many times, like it was very important that that it would be said. And then I was listening to you and I was like, I'm finding back the same intensity.
Oh.
Ah,
And 0 point, it's what's coming through is these are all just different ways of also how there's so many different ways of understanding the same thing just through a different frequency to allow everyone to come to that point within. But the way you come to the point, your particular way, not to shame it because it's different than anyone else, but your particular point actually gives you information as to how to arrive at the point to be at the point to be. So you see there is this interconnectedness, just like when I was feeling into the earth and the core, I saw these sort of these two circles pulsating, and that's the same energy, that's the same frequency of that. Your path is leading you there. Stop resisting it. Allow it to be, because that is actually giving you the information that you need. So when you resist it, you're moving farther away from where it is that you actually want and yearning to go. When you can actually be with it and understand it and see it through all of the different layers that are available to be seen in your particular state of presence. Again, that's why nervous system and grounding is so important at this time. Wow, I totally just lost it. It got like almost too intense for me, I think, which I think what's coming through now is actually that is exactly the point. When it's
exactly.
too much and you're not grounded in it, you lose the connection. So you need to ground to be able to connect to it, to then to be present to everything in the moment, to allow it to be, to trust in it, to take you out of it into where it is that you are, is to where you are. You just simply have to be there. You already are there. You just simply have to be there.
Thank you for experiencing it for all of us.
Oh, thank you. Wow. It's intense. It's like that's why I'm feeling I'm feeling the heaviness in the world. And that's what I was feeling through this and seeing it as part of it. That when we can actually not be in resistance of pain, we can be with it. We can return to compassion, thereby not even having to solve the problem. It just simply becomes a world of compassion in which harm and we experience the what we're needing to get there. We are there. It ceases to be. So there are no human-made solutions to figuring this out. We now have to simply return to who we are in a state of presence and being, and in time, in generations, there can be peace. So be with it because it's purposeful, and to understand through it, to not punish, to not hate, to not separate, but to go into it and to see it through all of the lenses, to return to that point, to be in all of the poles of it, which is also part of the human journey as well. And as so many souls have gone through so many lives and so many experiences, that is why at this time we are able to move into a collective state of oneness through the elevated frequency of all the souls here, which is why we are also so overpopulated. Again, shifting the perspective. It is purposeful. It is so that we can attain not in ownership, but of being, of this frequency of expansion in which we haven't experienced in human form at this particular attunement to consciousness of what you refer to as time.
Blair, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If you're feeling what you're feeling right now, if you're channeling what you're channeling right now, is it because we are entering the most crucial time? Is there something of that order? September? It's the start of something very, very crucial?
Ooh. I was getting this pulsating in like my diaphragm,
I
and
feel
it
the
was
same goosebumps everywhere.
kind of like I'm having trouble breathing.
Whoa.
You said something, what I was getting was the core. It's bringing me to my core. And what I was getting was that there's so much because people aren't seeing it for what it is. You know how when you get a lesson, sometimes it's soft, and then sometimes if you don't hear it, it gets louder and louder and louder. This is happening to an extent that we can't even comprehend.
Right.
And so we frame it as this is our moment in time of expansion. It is part of a greater whole. And we have to support the all, and we're not understanding it. And so the more that we experience this is helping people get there. And so much of what's coming up has been here, not seen, not acknowledged. And that is why when we see it, we can then break down the structures that were built upon that energy. And that's why it's rising up. It's rising up to be seen, just like we experience with our emotions, with our wounds, with things that we haven't seen that need to be seen to heal. That is the mirrored expression of what is going on in the collective and on this planet at this particular moment in time.
Do you see points on the earth that are activated, like geographical area that are activated more than others?
Hmm. So first I started seeing mountains, but it didn't feel that it didn't
Right.
feel like not the answer, but the direction, the message. And then I realized that I've needed mountains. I've been drawn to the mountains, and that is what has been helpful for me. And so the mountains was a reflection back that people need to understand their own need. It's weird because right now I'm thinking, I don't even remember what you asked. And I hope this is on track because I don't know why
Just go with it.
my mind is like, okay, oh God. I'm getting a message of like maybe I'm getting to my threshold. But understanding needs, understanding what you need brings you back to that whole sense of understanding each moment as it is to lead you to the point. I'm getting like a pain right now in my throat a little bit. Right as I was like judging and questioning if that made any sense. And then I just started getting a pain right here.
And the moment you had the pain, I heard in my head, but I mean, it could have been just me. It doesn't have to make sense for now. I just
Oh,
I just heard that.
oh, okay.
Meaning to you, to you.
Yeah. I also, for me too, I'm trying to move away from trying to make sense of things. Because when I make sense of things, again, it's so maybe this is also part of all of this is that this message of when we try to make sense of something, we are making sense of it.
Right, right, right.
If we let it be, the
Yeah.
knowings will come. So don't try to make sense of it. When you know, and when you know, another layer is revealed and another knowing comes and another knowing comes. So even when you have a knowing come around it, still be open because as you expand, you will have more knowings coming through and you will begin to connect all of the dots through this particular lifetime that you're attuned to and any other lifetimes you're attuned to. But it will help to make sense of it all. And it's connecting that because when you can be present and open to what is happening right now in your life, that opens like the joint, the flexibility within the mind to begin to see in all the interconnected pieces. And knowing that there are so many different layers, many layers in which it isn't even necessary for you to know because it was actually purposeful for another or others.
Mhm. Mhm.
And knowing the all is only of a particular frequency in which will not be able to be embodied at this time for humans, at least. That's interesting. What came up for we was animals after that.
Mm.
Like the cats of ancient Egypt, they hold the records, which I don't fully understand, but it feels, I don't know. Does anything come up for you around that? Oh, okay. Something came up for me, but it was personal.
Thank you for sharing this beautiful moment.
Thank you.
Oh,
Oh, wow. Thank
yeah, wow.
you. Thank you.